Hi, Ashley here, and welcome to my messy life. For those of you who are new here, my name is Ashley. I'm a stay-at-home mom of 5, a wife, and a senior at a university in Florida who is majoring in criminology. I love pretty much anything true crime or related to the criminology field. My channel, however, is kind of a mixed bag. I have all sorts of things going on in my channel: product reviews, musical performances, cooking videos, story times, raw footage of things that I see in my everyday life where I live out in the middle of nowhere, just all sorts of stuff. So I really hope that you'll stick around and hear me out for a little bit. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for showing interest in my content. And thank you so much for coming back. It means a lot. Without further ado, let's get into today's video. Today's video comes with a trigger warning. If you are triggered by footage of people being rescued from dangerous hostage situations or just arrest videos in general, this is not the video for you. This will be my first true crime video, and I will be covering the kidnapping story of Jane Priebe. Jane Priebe was 28 years old when she was kidnapped by her ex-boyfriend, Jack Morgan, age 31, and his partner, born Samuel Brown, age 19, who identifies as a woman. I will be referring to Samuel Brown as Sophie Brown, or simply just Brown, for the remainder of the video. I included Brown's given name because all of the court documents that I've looked at, as well as the arrest record, are all in the name of Samuel Brown. According to Jane's father, Jane dated Morgan in college, and apparently the relationship was violent. And at that point, Jane cut ties with him, and she honestly probably never thought about him again. The same was not true for Jack Morgan. As it turns out, Jack Morgan and his partner, Sophie Brown, had been planning the abduction of Jane Priebe for 1 year and 3 months before the attack. Brown and Morgan used social media accounts to stalk Jane Priebe. In the week before the attack, they were in contact with her, and Sophie Brown actually helped Morgan lure her to have a cup of coffee with him. And once they were done with their little coffee chat, Morgan and Brown followed Jane Priebe back to her apartment complex. Now, they weren't sure which apartment was actually Jane's apartment, but they didn't let that bother them. They went through the apartment complex, knocking on each door under the guise of collecting money for church donations until they found the correct house. It is thought that they found Priebe's apartment the day before the attack. According to one witness, Zai Meng Lee, who will be referred to as Lee for the remainder of this video, Lee claims that he saw Jack Morgan walking around the complex the day before and that he looked very suspicious. The day of the attack, Jack Morgan walked up to Priebe's door and subdued her with a stun gun. He then attempted to hogtie her with an entire roll of duct tape, but was unable to be successful in doing so. So he then used handcuffs and chains to restrain Priebe. He then began carrying her down to the car where it is said that Sophie was waiting. She starts kicking and screaming as loud as she can, and she says when she's explaining to the police that this is how you die, is what she was thinking to herself as he was taking her down to the car. So she was making as much noise as she possibly could, which was really smart, because had she not made all that noise, there's a really good chance that Lee would not have heard her coming down. And he was able to watch what was happening. He was able to get a plate on the car, and then Las Vegas police put out a BPD on the car, and because of this, she was recovered less than 12 hours after her abduction. Priebe was discovered in the cargo area of Morgan's white Chevy van. According to one source, it was Sophie who told the police that Priebe was in the back of the car. The police in Española, New Mexico, arrested Sophie and Morgan when they pulled them over. The police went back into the patrol car and asked Morgan where the key to the handcuffs and chains were. As the police were unchaining her, Priebe began to tell them what had happened to her.
For her. She's literally chained up inside.
You need a cuff key? He said it was a key of that. I got a cuff key if you need one. I got photographs of her. Dude, I don't know. There's another one out there somewhere. Okay, got it. Take pictures of all this before we get the chains. Like the fucking weird. I got pictures of her and I got pictures of the chains. Don't there's all the weird stuff that I wasn't checking about. Fuck. Come on. Okay. You come this way. Come on, hold on to it. Hey, Sergeant, why don't you walk over there to the front of the unit and take all that stuff off of the camera?
I'm rolling. Huh? I'm rolling.
Oh, okay, you got one.
You got one rolling, sir.
He choked me out like 6 times.
I don't got a key for this one, guys. Sarge, I don't got a key for the neck one. Okay. There it is, here it is. Okay, hold on, give me time.
So, why exactly did Sophie Brown and Jack Morgan kidnap Jane Priebe? Well, according to Jack Morgan himself during his trial, he stated that he felt that he had a paramount responsibility to go through with the kidnapping, and that in doing so, he would be executing the greater good. Morgan felt that Priebe was involved in a number of concerning activities that put her immortal soul in danger. According to Sophie and Sophie's attorney, they said that Morgan believed himself to be some sort of messenger from God, and he believed that Sophie and Priebe were his God-given wives. Normally, I would say that that's a pretty lame post facto defense method, but I think he truly may have believed this. The reason being is Sophie really believed it, and she thought he was a messenger from God. And Sophie also appeared to be controlled by him in some way. Also, upon his arrest in the back of the squad car, Morgan began to sing Amazing Grace on the way to his booking.
You got a favorite hymn?
What's that?
You got a favorite hymn?
No, I don't.
Why not?
I don't know, I've never been into them. What about you?
What about Amazing Grace? You like that one?
I'll take it.
So if they'd been successful, where were they planning to take Priebe, and what were they planning to do with her? Well, it turns out that the couple were planning to take Priebe to a cave that Morgan had carved himself with a pickaxe. And they planned to chain her to an anchor in one of the areas that he'd carved out in the cave until she was brainwashed to be his wife. According to the police who investigated the cave had 3 separate distinct areas, and it contained food and alcohol. Before carving out the cave, Morgan and Sophie were homeless and living in the van that they used to kidnap Priebe. Following their arrests, the FBI took over the case because Morgan and Brown had crossed state lines while committing the crime. The first filing in the case was in February of 2017, and on April 18th of 2017, Morgan chose to defend himself as a pro se defendant. He filed many continuances, and on 11/13/2017, defendant Jack Morgan filed a motion for release due to his constitutional rights being violated. This motion was denied. Imagine that. On 11/21/2017, Brown entered a plea agreement and was sentenced to 63 months in prison and 5 years of supervised release following her prison sentence. According to Brown's lawyer, she showed remorse and stated that she believed that Morgan was some sort of messenger from God, and that Morgan believed that she and Priebe were his God-given wives. I tend to believe that Brown was remorseful because of some things that she said and also some things that she did during the kidnapping. During the kidnapping, after he failed to duct tape her properly and hogtie her, Brown actually removed the adhesive from Priebe's hair using alcohol instead of allowing Morgan to cut it like he wanted to. And I'm not saying that makes her perfect. I'm just saying that I think she may have been remorseful. After day 2 of his December trial, Morgan was found guilty after only 20 minutes of deliberation. On March 23rd, 2018, Jack Morgan was sentenced to life in prison. He has since appealed this decision, but it has been denied. So what do you think? Have you heard about this case? A lot of records are still sealed, so even with a Pacer account to gain access to the legal documents, I wasn't able to find a lot. Please let me know in the comments below if you've heard of this case and if you know of anything about it that I didn't include. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you enjoyed this content, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, and live your best life.